Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Good
Yes,
afternoon, ma'am.
good afternoon, Vaibhav. How are
Good
you?
afternoon.
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
Good. You are dressed for the occasion. It is a real dress rehearsal, and we are quite impressed as far as your physical personality is concerned. But you are going to keep that beard on the date of interview?
Sir, I intend to keep that beard, but I'll get it groomed, properly groomed.
Trimmed. Okay, good. Right. Well, you look impressive with that beard.
Thank you,
And
sir.
tell me something about not Ajmer, because Ajmer is on your left palm and the right palm. Something about Pushkar.
Sir, Pushkar is a ancient holy city in Hindu mythology. It is said that the only Brahma temple is located in Pushkar, and it is also home to the world's largest camel fair every year. And there are several festivals which are held in Pushkar. It is an international tourist site.
Is it a camel fair only, or is it a cattle fair?
Yes, sir, you are right, sir. It is also a cattle fair, but largely because of Rajasthan, camels are very famous in that place. So,
Have you attended that fair?
no, sir, I have not got that opportunity till now to attend that fair, but I would surely like to do it.
You must.
Yes,
It's a very interesting fair, very colorful fair. Now you visited Seoul for some time. When you
yes, sir.
Samsung.
Yes, I visited Suwon. It is a city nearby Seoul, but I did go
Okay.
to Seoul, sir.
You
My
didn't
office was
stay-
located in Suwon. Yes,
Oh, you didn't stay at Seoul.
no, sir, I didn't stay at Seoul. I just visited because of my personal interests, and the official visit was to Suwon.
Oh, okay. You went around the city.
Yes, sir.
You went to the Olympic Stadium there in Seoul.
No, sir, I didn't go there.
Okay. What is the river there in Seoul? It's a very famous river,
It's the Han River.
the Han River. Okay. And you participated in a UN essay competition during your academic times. What was that essay about? What did you write on?
Sir, I was in 10th standard, and the essay was about climate change and how we can deal with it. So, sir, my essay revolved about how we are seeing the manifestation of climate change, the changes that we are rapidly seeing in our environment, and how to deal about it. Sir, my essay was largely focused upon Indian values, how we can responsibly consume, responsibly produce, the changes in the materialistic patterns of life, and if we implement it at every individual level, we can surely mitigate climate change.
When you landed in Seoul airport, they asked you to close the windows on the right at the time of landing. Did you observe that?
I'm sorry, sir, I did not.
Okay. Did you see some foreign military troops stationed all over Seoul city? Who are they?
Yes, sir.
They are stationed.
Sir, they are US troops because United States is permanently stationed there because of the Korean War, which is still not formally ended. And sir, there is a province, especially right now, the name is escaping me. I did go to that province as well because it is called as Foreigners Province in Seoul City. There largely we can find US troops, and international cuisines also is there, and everything which is for a foreigners to visit is particularly located in that district.
Can you tell me one or two words in Korean language, which you know?
Sir, Kamsamnida is for thank you.
And what is welcome or thank you?
Sir, Kamsamnida is what I can remember right now.
Have you not heard about Ashavo Sitavo? That is welcome. Okay. Thank you, Vaiba.
Thank you, sir.
Sridhar sir.
Thank you, sir. Vaibhav,
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. You're looking very prim and proper, properly dressed. Good. Have you attended many interviews before?
So the mock one or the
Yeah,
real
mock one.
Sir, mock ones I have attended 2 or 3.
Okay. And the real ones?
Sir, once in 2019.
Okay. What happened then?
I got 172 in that interview. My mains, I just barely crossed mains margin. I was just 8 marks ahead of that. So I did not make it to the final list.
Were those the same subjects as now or different?
Sir, the same subjects.
Same subject. Okay, fine. You've chosen political science and public international relations.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me, is politics a science or part of the humanities group of studies?
Sir, initially it was part of the humanities because largely it was related to philosophy. But as we saw the advent of behavioralism, that is scientific inquiry in the art of politics as well, then it moved towards science. But today, sir, it is known as applied science because we inquire scientifically, but largely because it deals with society, we also have to inculcate humanities into the subject.
Is the classical traditional form of political science being practiced in India?
So the classical, largely, I think it revolves around philosophy of how we should actually practice politics. In India, sir, we see that largely electoral politics is practiced, and electoral politics in a democracy has an element of competition in it. So that is where populism.
Electoral politics as opposed to, say, ideology?
Yes, sir. Ideological battles are not there because in India, we see all political parties are catch-all parties. They want to just capture the constituency.
That's the reason why you have people shifting from one party to the other at the turn of every election.
Yes, sir.
Which means they have no ideological commitment to any cause.
So it certainly reflects that their ideological commitments are lesser than their political motivations.
which is more tending towards themselves than towards society and the uplift of the community. Unfortunate, but well, that's the way it is. You see, every democratic country practices democracy in its own particular style and green and form. So we can justifiably feel proud of the fact that we are still a democracy.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Definitely, sir.
Definitely. Good. That's good. Acha, now on international relations, what do you think are the recent trends now developing in and around Asia, Middle East, and all that?
Sir, in Asia, we see that there is competition, the strategic competition between United States and China, because China has shed away its policy of hide your time and bide your strength. But hide your strength, I'm sorry, sir, hide your strength and bide your time. So in Asia, sir, we see that Indo-Pacific is a new geopolitical construct in which democratic countries are trying to seek their mutual interest in the form of assertive China against the assertive China. And in Middle East, sir, we are seeing that United States is withdrawing from that region because it has lost interest and because it sees a hegemonic rival in the form of China. So it is moving towards Asia.
Okay. What do you think is happening in Afghanistan, and what, according to you, can be a likely solution for that?
So what is happening is really unfortunate because United States earlier said that they will orderly withdraw from Afghanistan, but it was not an orderly withdrawal. So now Taliban sees that it has the opportunity, a strategic window, where it can capture most of the districts and then coerce the Afghanistan government and its neighbors to accept their legitimacy, which international community should not accept, sir, in my opinion. The final solution has to come to actually implement the peace dialogue, and it has to be a compromise between Afghanistan government right now and the Taliban, but it has to be on some principles which are laid on democratic lines, that minorities, women, and even terrorism should not have a place in Afghanistan society from now on.
Good, good. And what do you think is India's position in this?
Sir, we are consistent in our position that any peace dialogue should be Afghan-led, Afghan-owned, and Afghan-controlled, which essentially means that Pakistan, which is indirectly controlling Taliban, should not be given a chance to actually manipulate Taliban for its interest in terrorist spaces. And sir, we are also concerned about our investments and our developmental processes that we took for the last 2 decades. And also, we are also concerned about our national security interests, especially in Jammu and Kashmir. So our policy is to support Afghanistan government right now.
Now that the American troops are withdrawing or almost withdrawn, and the vacuum is about to be filled up by some of the other powers, do you think we should intervene more positively or do only diplomatic and political maneuverings?
Sir, I think we should fully support Afghanistan government. We have a policy of not placing boots on the ground, but we can do other military support. We can provide them with weaponry and intelligence, and also morale, because as we saw, there are cases where Afghanistan government troops that they are surrendering without fighting, and this is actually causing Taliban to go on a more assertive position. So we want to have a dialogue with Taliban also, but at the same point of time, we should have some leverage, and that leverage will come when we support the Afghanistan government.
Good, good, good. So what do you think is happening on the borders with China on the Ladakh front?
Sir, yesterday we saw positive news that there has been de-escalation and disengagement process after the 12th round of military talks, and now Gogra Post has seen a peace in that area. Sir, last year we saw that in Galwan Valley there was a 45-year truce between India and China of no conflict was broken, and India-China relations have gone fairly sir, in a bottom position because of the assertive behavior of China on our border.
Some time back, about a year ago, we cancelled number of the websites and other channels, electronic media operated from China, and those have been removed from India, almost about 200 or even more. Do you think that has had any impact in society here and overall in the strategic position vis-a-vis China?
Sir, we did indeed ban more than 200 apps of China due to our national security concerns. And I believe, sir, it certainly has created a positive impact on two fronts. Firstly, it was a message to China that India is not willing to surrender its border position and keep on the other relations as it is. And certainly it will have a cost on all our overall relationship. And secondly, it gave a boost to our domestic industry to come up to a stage where we can actually globally compete with China, because they practice a policy of beggar thy neighbor, and in which our domestic industry was suffering because of their cheap dumping in our country. So through our apps, we gave them a signal that we are not looking for a confrontation, but we are not backing down.
Good, good. So some of the apps which have been removed have been replaced by Indian apps.
Indeed, sir. Yes, sir.
We need to do a little more on that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Or a lot more. Good. Right. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Vivek, kindly take over.
Thank you, sir.
Just
good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you. And you're again, we've done 3 or 4 candidates in the morning, and again, you are from the state into which I'm married. So actually, I'm a Kumar of, and from the same city. Civil lines is where my sasural is, in Ajmer. So I obviously have a soft corner for you, but that does not mean that I will not ask you tough questions. Okay, I have a dream. Whose speech is that?
Sir, Martin Luther King.
Yeah, and Martin Luther King and your birthday, what's the connection? 4th of April.
Sir, I do not know that connection. I will surely look into it.
1968, this was the day when he was assassinated.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, again, your date of birth, 4th of April, COVID and China. What's the connection?
sir. I have to read upon that, sir.
Okay, China actually held a memorial service to honor the martyrs of those people who died because of the corona COVID virus on 4th of April 2020. So there's a huge connection between you and your date of birth. You have studied in a school which is called St. Paul's.
Yes, sir.
Was St. Paul's, was he a disciple of Jesus? And what was the name of the road on which he was going when he, people say, had his conversion?
Sir, he was not among the 12 disciples, which are called apostles, but he is one of those very influential in Christianity because of his practices and because of his preaching. I'm not aware of that road, sir. Definitely, sir, I will look into it.
It's on the road to Damascus. And Damascus, of course, is no more now. Damascus is finished off as a city. When he had his first experience with the Spirit of Christ. Do you remember the motto of the school?
Yes, sir. Let your light shine.
Yes. And how do you think you can let your light shine?
So largely, I intend to do what I intend to do. Everything that in my best of potential, everything that I pursue, I wish to do it in the form of taking every step where I believe what is right and in confirmation to my values. And that is how our school promoted us. They gave us values. They gave us confidence to show it to the world and do good for the society.
You used a word called populism in one of your answers. Can you tell me something about discriminatory legalism?
Sir, I have not heard that word, but if you permit me, I can make a guess because I am able to understand something.
It's
but
actually,
I'm not very
it's
sure.
actually it's the flip side of the coin of populism. Go ahead, please. This is a conversation going on, and I mean, I'll be very happy to educate you also, and I'll be happy to listen to you. Please go ahead.
Sir, it is in the sense that we give positive affirmation to one society, a section of our society through laws, and it is discriminatory legalism because in the sense we are promoting our minority sections because they will have in a majority dominated society in a democracy. Otherwise, minority will have no voice.
Okay, no, not that. You see, okay, very briefly, I'll tell you, populism is when, there is a belief created and there's a large following, and that's what populism is all about. And India is to some extent, following that populism thing also. It is based on, certain thing, and you become popular. But in the populistic thing, what happens is like sometimes retired people like civil servants, they face what is called discriminatory legalism because you don't matter. So, I mean, even if you keep talking about the fact that this is wrong and that is wrong, and Chief Secretary of Bihar, Bengal should not have happened, but actually you don't matter. I keep on doing the things I want to do, and so you are legally discriminated against.
Okay, sir.
So that is,
so
but read about it. If you just go to populism and you'll read about discriminatory legalism, I think that's something that you need to understand.
Surely, sir. Thank you, sir.
We are not a country of Hindus. We also in this country have Muslims, we have Christians, and we have Parsis. Who said that?
Sir, I do not know.
Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya.
Thank you, sir.
Because you are from BHU.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Having said that we are not just a country of Hindus. We are a country of Christians, Muslims, and Parsis and other religions. Where do you think is the space for calling universities like Banaras Hindu University or Aligarh Muslim University?
Sir, certainly, in my personal opinion, I think there should be no space because we are a secular country and these are national universities. They should be renamed. Maybe their former directors and founders should be given a name. Madan Mohan Malviya University or Sir Syed Ahmad Khan University could be a proper name. The government even tried that in 1960s, but we failed because of the popular protests. So I certainly believe, sir, that we should rename those institutions.
So you were part of discriminatory legalism. You don't matter. You can keep saying whatever you. Well, thank you so much. I think you've. I'll pass you on to Vijeta.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Hi, Rajat. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm good.
Yeah, good afternoon. So, I have seen in your draft that you have a hobby of video gaming, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So recently, one state has banned the video games. Can you name that state and what is your stand on that? Whether we should ban video games or online games?
Ma'am, Tamil Nadu enacted an amendment to their previous act, which was Pre-Independence Act. They banned online gambling and some sort of games, which are, as we know, games of skill are allowed in our country, but they banned it. And recently, ma'am, Tamil Nadu Madras High Court, they said that there should be a proportionate reaction to such kind of ills in our society, even if they exist. So blanket banning will not lead to proper regulatory response. So we need to have a certain sections of game we can ban, we can have other policy responses rather than completely banning every sort of.
Where is the Tigray region? What is the issue going on in that region?
Tigray is located in Ethiopia. Last year we saw the current president of Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy Ahmed. He wanted to have an overhaul in their political system. So largely, as we saw, that there was a Tigray Liberation Revolutionary Force, which led to the revolution in Ethiopia. And now Mr. Abiy Ahmed wanted to eradicate that force. So they sent troops to have a short-term mission, but now that war has prolonged. And as we see, ma'am, there are large number of humanitarian causes and concerns with regard to Ethiopia. There are shortages of food, medicines. So it is a civil war kind of situation which is going on in Ethiopia.
Don't you think that they are withdrawing the troops from there and the same situation is going to be happen what is happened in Afghanistan now?
Ma'am, certainly in terms of humanitarian causes, there will be some situations where people will suffer, innocent people who have no reasons to suffer, just like in Afghanistan. But there are some subtle differences as well, because Afghanistan is, as we know, it is called as the Great Game, and several external powers are involved in Afghanistan. There are more number of factions involved in Afghanistan as compared to Tigray region in Ethiopia.
Okay. Can you compare Machiavelli with the Chanakya?
Pardon me, ma'am, I was not able to hear you.
Can you compare Machiavelli with the Chanakya?
Ma'am, they are large. They both belong to realist tradition of international politics. They both see that national interest is the primary interest of a state, and everything that we do is subservient to the cause of state. So Machiavelli was an Italian diplomat in 15th century, whereas Kautilya was, as we remember, was in 3rd century BC, who guided Chandragupta Maurya to power, throwing the Nanda dynasty. There are subtle differences as well, ma'am, because Machiavelli was European and he had a sense of secularism, in which he completely wanted to have a distinction between church and the state, because he saw that church is the root of all corruption. Whereas, as we see in our society, Kautilya wanted to give that space to religion, although it was subservient to the king. And Pandit Nehru said that Kautilya is the Indian Machiavelli. So there are large number of comparisons being done, ma'am, between the two.
Okay. Now, presently, you are working in Bangalore or are you there in Rajasthan?
Ma'am, I left the job in 2018. I worked for 1 year. Now I'm at home.
Okay, when did you left the job?
I'm in 2018.
Okay, fine. So in the international relations, there is a saying that there is no permanent enemy and there is no permanent friend. Can you prove it right at the Indian context?
Ma'am, as we see that now we are seen as the natural partner and the closest ally to United States, whereas before the Cold War ended, we were in the opposite camps. Even in 1971, United States sent their ships and their aircraft carrier to India to stop us acting in the liberation war of Bangladesh, whereas we were closer to Soviet Union. And now we see that Russia is moving towards China. And in the same context, we also see that China was the one which led to the USSR decline, and there was a China, Pakistan, and US axis, which was because of the Nixon break in 1973. So there are no permanent friends and no permanent enemies in international relations. The state has to take care of it itself.
But we have still France since beginning.
Yes, ma'am. France, because ma'am, largely we have no conflict and we have no competition also. So largely we are having an alignment, and that is where we are at this moment of time. But we cannot be sure that France will always be our friend.
Which one is better, the direct democracy or indirect democracy?
Ma'am, I believe direct democracy is better in theory because it gives every individual a choice to decide on its own. However, it is impracticable in in large contexts like today we are. Switzerland is one case where we can have direct democracy because it's a smaller country. Representative democracy like ours that we have right now is the best practicable form of that direct democracy.
Okay. Recently, about the cryptocurrencies, there was a lot of news there. So, what is your opinion? Whether India should go with that, or India should still be there in the banning situation?
Several South American countries have adopted cryptocurrency as their fiat currency. Now, RBI is also looking for a central bank digital currency, which is not exactly as cryptocurrency, but we want to leverage the underlying technology that is blockchain to enhance the ease and to enhance the decentralized control to give access to all our customers so that easier transactions can take place. Ma'am, we need to utilize the technology, which is blockchain. However, cryptocurrencies have their vulnerabilities. Firstly, because of its anonymity, there are national security concerns because in our country, there are a lot of cases like money laundering and organized crime and terrorism, which could be a threat. Secondly, ma'am, there is no grievance redressal mechanism in such a cryptocurrency and a decentralized system where there will be large financial frauds and central bank will not be able to hold accountable anybody in that scenario. So financial stability is also a concern. So if we address these concerns through central bank digital currency, ma'am, I think we should move forward from this direction.
What is India's national electronic policies? Can you name something in that India has done something? Electronic policies.
Ma'am, I'm not aware of national electronic policy. Last year, we came up with national digital communications policy in 2020, and there was one software products policy as well in 2020, which was largely aimed at enhancing our capabilities in both these areas to universalize digital infrastructure, to give universal quality access to internet, to enhance digital literacy. And in terms of software, we want to move from services to product side so that our software industries and services exports grow. India can be the home to global products. Now we are using digital technology to enhance welfare of our society. We can do it for the world as well.
And last chance, compare Samsung with Apple. Which one is better?
And I certainly believe that Samsung has a lot more core competencies than Apple has. Even when we look at the Apple's iPhone, the display screen is given by Samsung. And whatever Apple earns on selling of one iPhone, Samsung earns it more because its share of that display screen is larger than the Apple's. However, ma'am, user interface is one where Apple has beaten all its competitors because of its easier and friendly user display, and the brand has its own trust value. So I believe Samsung has a lot to catch up, but I certainly believe that Samsung has a lot more core competencies than Apple.
When you will clear which phone you will choose, Apple or Samsung?
Ma'am, I owned an Apple phone, but I transitioned to a Samsung
Why not
phone.
both?
So I would.
Vijeta, why not both? Once he clears the exam, he'll have two phones.
That's what I was looking at, sir. That was a
It's
true
not an
answer,
either or
actually.
question, Vaibhav. You should say, ma'am, I'll have both. I'll give you also one.
Certainly, I had both when I was working in Samsung. So that was the case.
Thank you. Thank you, Varun.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vaibhav. One question is this relating to your computer science and PSAR. Tell me, what is the internet governance issue that was going on? they were going for a multilateral governance or a multi-stakeholder governance. What is the scenario that is debated now?
Ma'am,
Or they can
in
cook.
international forums or ma'am in our domestic
Internet
forums?
governance, internet governance.
Ma'am, I believe internet, because it is a borderless world, sovereign nations are facing a challenge in controlling the flow of information. And there are concerns regarding data security and data privacy of citizens, where we see that foreign companies are able to hijack not just financial systems, but also able to manipulate democratic elections and the choices of people. So internet governance is very much essential. And right now, there are concerns regarding how we go about it, because there then state should also not go authoritarian. We should promote innovation, but at the same point of time, we should also include concerns of citizens. And state is the only responsible player who could do it, because people have control over it. So we should go with a multi-stakeholder approach, ma'am. We should consult everybody who are involved in this industry and the state. World Economic Forum is one place where internet governance is given priority, and ma'am, I believe we should engage with everybody and formulate such models which is acceptable to all.
How is the federalism trend in nowadays? Is it cooperative federalism that we are started with telling when Niti Aayog was formed? What is the status now, and what is your perception on the federalism which is happening now?
Ma'am, I see that there are both trends visible in our federal structure. We are also moving towards cooperative federalism, where we see that more states and center both are engaging in activities, just like in aspirational district program. We are moving towards convergence of both the states and central schemes and initiatives. And also, we are also seeing a competitive trend where while Niti Aayog ranks the states in Sustainable Development Index and other parameters so that they can engage in a friendly competition. But we also see, ma'am, there is a bargaining federalism in our current structure, because financially we see that center is, especially in the case of GST Council, we said center has more say in allocation of funds and in taxation. So in that scenario, India has moved in all those directions, and right now we are seeing all those trends: cooperative, competitive, and bargaining as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Vaibhav, you are following international media discussion about India. Why New York Times is so acerbic to India?
Sir, there are several reasons for it. Firstly, as we see that all Western media houses are largely, they have a political inclination which is liberal in nature. There was a survey done in which journalists themselves identified 87% of them as having a liberal left orientation. And it is not just about India, sir. I would say that even Brazil faces that same problem, because there is a right-wing government of President Jair Bolsonaro. In India also, sir, we have that same problem of political biasness. But at the same point of time, we should also see that there are a large number of Indian editors and Indian writers who are writing in New York Times. So this problem, sir, is not because of New York Times as per se, but there is a domestic competition in play, which is also reflected in international media.
Okay. Vaibhav, what does Hotel Rwanda brings before you? The moment I say Hotel Rwanda.
Sir, just that Rwanda is a country which I know, but I have not heard Hotel Rwanda as such. So nothing.
Okay, go and check up on that. You will find very interesting snippets on that. You heard
Thank
of
you, sir.
Hamilton Hotel?
No, sir.
No, check on that, because we were talking about Korea. I'm sure there is going to be questions on Korea because you had visited. You are one of those few candidates who had visited a foreign country and stayed there on work and would have toured in those places. Likely to be. Do some research on Korea. Why
Yes,
the US forces are stationed there still. Is 38th parallel still active?
Yes, sir.
As it used to be during the Korean War, all those things try and do. The Hamilton Hotel is the hotel where there is only, the only Indian restaurant in Seoul is located in Hamilton Hotel called Ashoka Restaurant. You missed it. during your stay in Seoul, I think.
Well, I went to one restaurant which is called as Ganga Restaurant.
Oh,
And,
maybe it came later.
there,
Okay.
there are, sir, I think there are several now which have come up.
Very good, very good. During my time, there was only one. In Hamilton Hotel, there used to be an Ashoka restaurant. Okay, good. And now the interview part is over now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And it was a good engagement talking to you at this level, intellectual level. Now we will give you the feedback of performance. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sridhar sir.
Okay. Well, Vaibhav, that was very, very illuminating, very interesting. We enjoyed the conversation with you for almost about an hour. One of the longest chats we have had so far in the morning session. That was very good. Very positive, very encouraging. First, for the externalities, you have a very charming personality, good appearance. You're properly groomed in proper attire. Except for the beard, which you said you'll have it groomed, so no issues on that. But you're aware that these things are important and they matter for the interview. So the first impression is the best impression. I'm sure you're going to make the best of it. Overall, you sound very confident, very cheerful. You smile a lot, which is good. And you're not nervous. You're not diffident. All that shows that you are well up to it. The knowledge part of it, so far you've cleared the prims and the main, so there's no issue about that. You've done well in all your subjects. So far as the personality is concerned, maybe what you can do is write out all the questions that we posed here today, and also the answers which you gave, and try and see how you can better improve upon some of those answers.
Yes, sir.
The analytical ones, you were superb, like on Afghanistan or China or international relations, or various other issues which all of us raised. You had a very good grounding on that, and your expression was very clear, forthright, and balanced more than anything else. Because in these matters, one should not take sides. You can't support one group or the other too much. So one has to take a comprehensive view of things. That's important. So far as the factual questions are concerned, obviously nobody can expect anyone to know all matters under the sun. And since you're very young, you'll take some more time to understand. But some of the more important current affairs issues like, say, COVID or the NRCCA or things of that kind, like the pandemic and things of the Olympics, for instance. These are all current affairs issues, which I'm sure they'll ask a lot more. Your knowledge about Rajasthan and the various activities there, and schemes and all that is very good. So that is fine. So on factual matters, I think you need to brush up a little more, do a lot more reading. As I said, write down all the questions and the likely replies and make an improvement on that. On your personality, you can also say what are all the things which are positive about you. Beyond the DAF, you can say a few things which you have taken up as a challenge in your school or college or in your work environment, which you have handled successfully, even at this early age, which goes to show that you are cut out for this kind of an assignment. You already must give the impression that you're already into the service. You're part of the service colleague. And in fact, that's what happened to one of the seniors, one Mr. Iyengar, long ago, 50, 60 years ago. He entered the interview hall, tripped at the doorway and fell flat on the floor. I don't know if you've heard of that. No?
I have. This is
You
a
have?
famous story, sir. Yes. I
Famous
have.
story. So something like that. You have that attitude. You already belong to the service. So I'm sure with a little more effort, you should be right there amongst all of us. And very soon you should be handling district assignments very competently and confidently. All the best to you. You'll do well. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Vivek sir.
Vaibhav, well done. You have come out as successfully as the name of the famous Mishtan Bhandar in Jaipur. समझ जानते हो ना? रावत मिष्ठान भंडार.
Yes, sir. Near the bus stand.
हाँ वहीं जाके खाता हूँ कचौड़ियाँ वो सब. रावत की कचौड़ी बहुत ही फेमस है उसकी तो. So okay, Rawat, I think if you got 172 in your last interview, what have you done now? You are clearly 200 plus.
Thank you.
Clearly. But 2-3 things I just tell you, which is where you need to brush up. As I said, on your DAF. Now, all the things that I asked you are based on your DAF. I didn't even get into current affairs. So 0404 is your birthday. And it's something that you must research on. What are the things that happen? Just as I said, you've got to research on every data, including your mobile number. Because from mobile number, it could lead to what's the importance of telecommunication, who's the telecommunication providers, and what's the role of JAM, the Aadhaar mobility part of it. So anything out of your thing is important. Work on that. St. Paul's is a school. Now, as I said, then it could lead to Paul and Christianity. How did Christianity come into India? There's a lot of, so understand the importance of the fact that anybody can take off on anything which is there in your DAF. So all the questions I asked you were on DAF only. Number two, third thing I asked you is on BHU. Now, BHU is where you studied. So you must know all about how it was started, Pandit Madan Malviya 1861 and kya unka contribution tha. In fact, if you, these are some of the things which are there if you go into BHU, and my brother was studied there, my elder brother studied there, they all studied at BHU. Since I'm from Lucknow, I mean, I'm from UP Lucknow, but of course so institutionally you must know very well, because sentimentally there may be somebody sitting there who's ex-BHU. And he will want you to have a good conversation on the institution. So that's something that you must, which is just the important. The next important point is that while it's really good to use impressive words in your conversation, every word of your answer has the capacity to spin off into another question, which is what I wanted to prove when I asked you questions on populism. You also said a question about Indian values. Now, I didn't get into it, but is there something called Indian value? I mean, what is Indian value? Us pe bhi ek sawal aa sakte hain. Now, some of these could be slippery ground. Because what you consider Indian values, somebody may say are not Indian values, and then, so kind of structure your answers by having written answers prepared, in which the use of word should be ones that need not take you into a controversial, slippery ground. The way you answered today, your data, your presentation, your style is, I wouldn't be surprised if you're amongst the top 5 interviewers. And if you've got good marks in your main, I'm fairly certain you'll be amongst the top 20. If you've got good marks in the main. I mean, I don't know. The last time you tripped up because of your mains exam. So I don't know. But on the basis of the interview, I can definitely tell you. Now, again, I'll tell you what, in one of the answers, we were talking about media and press, and you were using words like money laundering, terrorism, now, unless you are 100% sure that you can answer all technicalities of money laundering and the PMLA Act and, or terrorism, what is the difference between terrorism and Naxalism and this thing, and questions on Northeast, etc. Unless you're 100% sure that even if you go into that territory on the basis of my answer, use words which you can fight and defend. And they should become your, they should be like swords in your hand, not hurdles in a 100 meters race. So answers ko thoda sa aur structure karo, or 100% I don't see why you should not do well. You're groomed well, you're testing. And only thing is, the old fashioned is that double note which you're tying. The newer people, Obama, etc., all of us, I mean, I stopped wearing a double knot tie maybe 40 years ago. So single knot bandho yaar, ye to bada purana Dakhianusi style hai knot ka. So I think it's very good. Your dress is excellent. Your coat fits you well. How tall are you?
165 centimeters.
Which will translate to about 5'7", is it?
5'5".
5'5", 5'6". Okay, fine. So I would say that your dress is fine. I would only suggest that you could probably even consider wearing a little more color in your tie, which is fine because the color of your suit. Is it a morning or an interview or afternoon interview?
It's afternoon.
Yeah, then you could wear even a white shirt, or an off-white shirt is also fine, a light blue or something like a little color. But otherwise, you're very well groomed. Please do, and you're not just well groomed. You look like you prepared for it. I mean, it's well ironed, and it's not crushed. And now I see you as 100%, 200 plus, and this comes from someone who again qualified in the first attempt, and I got 212 out of 250 in my interview, which would translate to 235 or 240 out of 275 for you. You are that category. You can make it. All the very best.
Thank you, sir. Thank
And
you so much.
the other thing is, Mr. Sivasanam asked you, is there something that, when the interview is getting over and he said, it's over. And you just said, thank you, sir. Please remember, you have to thank the whole panel.
Yes, sir.
And there are ladies sitting here. You never greeted them, except to the individual. Now you must get practice to the fact that it's like you're walking into a room and the 5 of us are sitting there.
Yes, sir.
And always greet the ladies first, not the oldest person in the room. The presumption is the oldest person is the chair, not necessarily. It could actually be Vijeta also. So knock off all presumptions from your mind. And the best way is to just say, good morning, ma'ams, good morning, sirs, which means you've covered everyone else. And when you're thanking also, please remember to thank the panel by saying, thank you so much for your time. And it was really a great learning experience. Just a mere thank you might feel, I'm just giving you those extra 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, so that, you kind of, really jump much over the moon. All the best. Over to the next, which is Vijeta.
Vijeta.
Yeah, for me, comment is good. There is only one thing, like where you worked on that, like compare Rajasthan with Bangalore, like that kind of questions, obviously board will ask. And other than that, whatever the sir suggested, all the dignitaries here suggested, work on that. I think just very best of luck, and you will definitely make it. And which board last time you had? Which board?
Ma'am, it was Shri Raj Narayan Chaubey, sir.
Okay. So it will depend on the board also sometimes, because mine was PK Joshi board. So उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा comfortable किया था. Everything was fine. So it will depend on the board also. Maybe you were bad luck last time, but this time we will wish you all a good luck and you will make it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All the best. Do well.
Madhavi,
Vaibhav, who was your chair last time? I hope it was not my batchmate or somebody known to me, because then I'll go and kill them.
Chobe, he says.
Chaubey,
Shri Raj Narayan
Rajiv.
Chaubey, sir.
Rajiv, उसको तो पकड़ना पड़ेगा. साला मुझसे एक
marks
batch.
नहीं दे रहे
Rajiv,
sir.
leader sir, number Chaubey sir.
Number Chobe. Yes, yes,
Ah.
yes.
Rajiv Nayan Chaubey.
Yes.
Yeah, Madhavi, anything to
Tamil
say? Madhavi?
Madhavi is not there, sir.
Okay. Now, Vaibhav, do you want to ask us any question? We have asked you so many questions. Do you want to ask us any questions?
Sir, with respect to that question, Vivek sir said that I actually forgotten. I was thinking at that point of time, I should have asked then only. Sir, but the feedback that, sir, you gave me that factually I had to work upon something, I think current affairs. So, sir, did I make some mistake on those aspects?
Let's clarify. I don't think sir is asking you to question on the feedback. Suppose this
Generally.
question was asked to you before the thank you.
Yeah, actually, this
Okay.
case,
Yeah, before the
To be
thank you.
asked-
After Hamilton Hotel,
yeah,
if this question was asked
Yeah.
to you, Vaibhav, is there something that you would like to ask
like to
from the
ask
panel?
us.
You tell us, answer to that. Go back in time, imagine yourself there.
Yeah, nothing on the feedback.
Feedback has not happened.
Nothing, sir. Thank you so much for your time.
10 marks less.
Hmm. You see, this itself is a bonus. Suppose they say, do you want to ask us any question? Make use of that opportunity.
Yes.
50% of the people will say, no, sir, thank you. No, I want you to be in that 10% bracket.
What should I ask? I have no idea.
Otherwise, we will suffer from the pangs of discriminatory legalism. We don't matter. We don't matter. And you already know the chairman of UPSC so well कि तुम लोग से कोई मतलब ही नहीं, मैं तो अपना निकल जाऊंगा किसी का सिफारिश लगा के. I'll ride on the populism wave, but you guys are discriminatory legalistically available to me. I don't.
You see, it
my
could be
batchmate does it.
anything. It could be anything. You can say, sir, everybody says that COVID is going to wipe off the world, but no, we are very optimistic. Things are going to change. We are going to get a new Philip.
Okay, in my one-to-one, I suggest a lot of questions to people. One, and obviously it's to the panel. So when the panel says, would you like to ask us something? There's no point. I mean, I don't think it's the kind of questions I suggest to them is that, I mean, it's always, you can always say, sir, it's, deep in my heart. I've always thought that, children come from all across the country with different backgrounds and different studies. What is that one characteristics that you are seeking in all of us, which is equal to, okay, he's a good civil servant? Something like that. Or, we come and we go, like the river says, men may come and men may go, so we are like the men may come and men may go, but you go on forever like the river or the stream. What's your encouragement? What's your source of encouragement? We are here for 25 minutes, we go away. What encourages you to sit for days together, months together? They could talk about the fact that, we are selecting the future of India or something. It makes them feel good, yaar. Make them, elevate them to a point, ko lagega, yaar, kya baat hai, yaar, dil ko chhu liya bacche ne. That's it. Those are the kind of questions that you must ask. Or, as I said, how do you search unity amongst diversity? Because, there's a certain type that you are looking for in civil service. And we are so diverse, different educational backgrounds, different states, different languages. Everything is different about us. How do you seek that unity in diversity? कुछ ऐसा सवाल पूछो कि उनको लगेगा हाँ भाई आप बहुत महान काम कर रहे हो. You are doing a great job. You are doing a job which no one else can do. Sort of thing, kind of question. But don't ask them, sir, about what do you think about gender problems and how do you think we can remove gender? Yeah. How do you think we can remove, avoid drinking of cow urine or something like that? Don't ask those kind of.
No pedestrian questions.
But think, you may be asked. You may be asked. Another point which I think Sivaselam sir, I forgot to tell you is that I know Sony has asked this question to say that, Vaibhav, is there any aspect of your DAF which you think is strong and which we have not asked you about?
So last time also, sir, I was asked this question.
Yeah. So be prepared for it. I don't want answers. I'm saying be prepared to strategically take them to, but don't say no, because no is equal to the fact that here is like, I've got 40 plus years of experience. Sivaselam sir is like, he's just been to the academy for having done 50 years of civil service. Yaar. So 40 or 50, Sridhar sir is senior to me. So here is like for 250 years of experience sitting, and tumhe koi humse sawal hai? Jao yaar, chodo. Tumse kuch nahi puchna hai. What the hell, yaar? You get the point?
I understand, sir, completely.
So you must ask. You must ask. You must ask. That's that extra 3-4.
Yeah, the important thing, as Vivek said, is to make the committee feel important. Yes. That's very. So note down all the questions that we have raised and the replies that you have given, and try and see.
1-to-1. Come back to any one of us. 1-to-1. Come back. But here's the numbers, and I'd be very happy to coach you on those last finishing touches to ensure that you crack 210.
You can easily.
Sivaselam sir, sorry.
Yeah. Vaibhav, as all of them have observed, we are all unanimous. You're a perfect candidate. Perfect, when I say that. And little more refinement is going to take you to the top. And we want you to be at the top bracket. It is possible. How many days do you have for the interview?
Sir, it is on 10th of September, so more than a month.
Okay, you have a lot of time. You have a lot of time to work on it, refine it further. Already you are refined, but I want you to refine it further. And why I kept on asking about Korea, it's bound to come. The moment they look at Korea, you had visited, they're going to ask. And Hotel Rwanda, read about it. They do ask such interesting, it's an interesting snippet on Hotel Rwanda.
Anecdotal, yeah.
A movie came and a beautiful story. The fellow got probably the Oscar for that, and very interesting. When they talked about Ajmer and other places, remember Mayo College. Quite likely some of them have passed out of Mayo College.
Sophia also.
Yeah?
This is where my wife studied, Sophia.
Oh, okay. See? Very, very important historical institution.
No, Vaibhav, please understand the gravity of Sivaselam sir is saying. There are a lot of Mayoites who have made it to the civil service. If there's a Mayoite sitting there, he'll be so happy if you tell him, boss, I know all about Mayo College.
Mayo College.
Or if there's a Sophian, has got into the civil service, it could be, Sujata, any one of the ladies were there, and they could ask you, and they ask you, and you tell them, तो दिल गदगद हो जाता है यार कि मतलब ये बच्चा हमारे स्कूल के बारे में जानता है. That's the whole point, and we want you to be that top of the list.
Another interesting point I observed in you is you are very fond of using keywords. Very important. You used a keyword, bargaining federalism. Tremendous implications of that. Tremendous. It is just 2 words, but one can write books on that. Use such keywords because they convey a lot of meaning. You don't listen to them. The moment you say, it is a new theory which is coming out now, cooperative federalism, but here is bargaining federalism, which is much more vocal. So the next 30 days, do all those refining points, try and find out and improve this thing. You will be. We are very hopeful, and we wish all the best to you. Okay, bye.
So just one point before that you go, you've got very large glasses. Physically, I forgot to tell you that you will be expected to wear a mask and you'll be expected to wear a face shield. Create an atmosphere like the UPSC room, which is a fairly good air-conditioned 22 temperature type of room. September is a very moist place. Now you're sitting in Rajasthan, which is exceptionally dry. Delhi can be very moist. And wear a mask and talk. So if your glasses are too large and they tend to fog up, because of that, then do consider whether you could like to change the shape of your glasses to something thinner so that your mask doesn't overlap your glasses. Because वहाँ बात करते समय अगर fogging हो गई शुरू, then you will feel uncomfortable कि ये क्या हो रहा है, बार-बार फिर चश्मा उतारो पोछो, चश्मा उतारो पोछो. I don't want anything to come between you and topping the civil services personality test. So create an environment of a room inside your room which is exactly going to be like UPSC. And see that you don't fog up. The glasses don't fog up. Because Rajasthan बहुत dry है. Rajasthan is zero.
I have one pair of glasses which is frameless, so I'll try wearing that.
Yeah, I'm saying that simple because you see Rajasthan is 0 degree. Like if in Chennai, for instance, if you were to sit in an air-conditioned room and wear a fog, where the temperature, the humidity is invariably 85% plus, you fog up. हम लोग सबके हम गाड़ी से उतरते हैं हमारे चश्मे एकदम खत्म हो जाते हैं. You ask Sivaselam sir, Sridhar sir. We get off an air-conditioned car. When we get off an air-conditioned car in Chennai, you are blind. Seriously, the whole thing just you come out and the whole thing becomes pani bhar jata hai. Now that should not happen to you. And as I said, after that, you need not just a bit beard trim. I think you need a bit of a haircut also.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of a haircut, and make sure that you look really good. Before you're going for this thing, please, as I said, come into another one-to-one. I'll be very happy to share. So Sridhar there is there, Sivaselam sir is there. But I want to see you. We want to see you at least 210 plus.
Yes,
I will try my best, sir. Definitely.
All the best to you. Good luck.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
God bless you, beta. All the best.
Bye.
Now.